friend, and welcome back. Welcome to your week. Since it's Monday, I wanted to start with a sort of simple kind of video. Everyone's kind of doing their yearly reviews of things, and I wanted to do what my yearly favorites were. So these are the items that came out in 2021. I think maybe I tried my best to keep it to everything that came out in 2021 that I've added to my collection. But there might be some items that maybe came out the year prior, but I think everything I'm looking at is 2021. If you're wondering what I'm wearing on my face or where you can find the items that I mentioned in this video, I will have everything linked down below as always. So let's go ahead and let's start. I think I'm going to talk about items in order that I apply them to my face. That's just easier for me to go by. So the first item I want to talk about is this Milk Hydro Grip Primer. This definitely did not come out this year, but it was something that I've added to my collection, and as you can see, like I am almost out. Like I have that much product left. And for someone that doesn't really use primer, this is really awesome. It does definitely make my makeup last longer and it does hold it in place, but I think it also just makes my makeup look better, and I think that's the whole point of a primer. Especially in the winter time, I struggle with the texture of my skin because it's either too cold to be applying makeup and my hands are always like popsicles, so even trying to like warm up a product with my hand doesn't really work, and I feel like it just leaves this weird like texture on my skin that I don't normally have. But this really smooths everything out, and I really do enjoy this. So I think once I finish this one out, I will probably get a full size. Okay, and then my favorite face item to come out this year is the Fenty Eavesdrops. I have mine in the shade 8. I've used this all summer, I've used this all winter. I think this has been my go-to product that I've used every day since I've gotten it, and this is something that I would definitely repurchase and would love to have in my collection moving forward. Like this is a holy grail for me. This is such a really good item, and it complements my skin tone. I know for those who are a bit more dry, you might not like it. It's supposed to be like a matte kind of finish, but I just think it's more of like, maybe not a true satin, but it's not a true matte either. Like it's not, I just washed my face kind of finish, but it's, I don't know, it's still like very fresh looking and like very much my skin. My skin can breathe with it on. My skin kind of shines through when wearing it, but you can build up the coverage, but the coverage that I get from just like the first layer is enough for me personally, and I don't know, I really enjoy it. And for an item that can kind of be a summer and winter product, I really enjoy. And my favorite concealer to come out this year is the Fenty Bright Fix. I have mine in Butter 5. I might get a different shade next time, I don't know, but I really do enjoy this. I think this is the one I'm wearing today. I do compare these two a lot, quite a bit, but if I'm gonna go for like overall finish and just something that I've used continuously throughout the year, this is it. I don't know, it's one of those weird products where sometimes I think like, oh no, like it looks really weird on my skin, there's like weird texture, but I think you just kind of have to let it, because I'm wearing it today, and when I was first applying it, I had like a weird texture under my eye, but I think you just kind of have to let it sit on your skin and kind of react to what's going on, and then it kind of just melts into place, and it's really nice. Again, this would be another item that once I'm done with this, it is something that I'm going to repurchase. Okay, and I think I've talked about this a number of times as well, but my favorite bronzer to come out this year is this one by ABH. Mine's in Golden Tan. It's a cream bronzer. It's absolutely wonderful, and I super love it. I think this is a very nice quality product. Again, I'm wearing it today, and a little really goes a long way. I haven't quite used this in the summertime yet, but I'm I have a feeling that this is just going to be my year-round bronzer, and I'm okay with that. So if I also end up using, I feel like maybe by this time next year, I would probably have to repurchase this if this was the bronzer that I continued to use as often as I'm using it. And then these were my two favorite blushes to come out this year. I think I've had a few different blushes in my collection that I really, really enjoy. Like I really enjoy the Melt, the Bee blushes. I think those are really pretty, and I've introduced the two other shades in my collection, so I've been using them a lot lately. But these are the two blushes that I'm reaching for off camera, on camera. These are my overall favorites. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you've probably been catching them in my links of like what I'm wearing on my face. And so the first one is Georgette from Colourpop. It is their Super Shock. It is the more like matte orange, but it's not like a true matte. Like it just kind of melts onto the skin and looks really, really wonderful. This has been my favorite blush to add to my collection, and I thought this was going to be the one out of the trio that I wasn't going to use and end up like throwing away or passing on to a friend, but it's the one I love the absolute most. And then the second one is the Winona blush stick, or it's a blush stick in shade Winona, and I don't know, I've really been enjoying this. This has been a wonderful shade. Granted, I did get these ones later in the year. These were like mid-year points, I think, or at least like August, September kind of. So I'm trying to think of what I used earlier this year, and I think it was just like my Nabla and my Melt blush, like for the most part. So these two I'm really happy to have in my collection. I don't know, like Colourpop is one of those weird brands where collections kind of come and go, and especially something with like unique packaging that's not their standard packaging, I feel like doesn't stick around as often, but I'm gonna treasure these and hold on to them. And I don't know, if Colourpop were to release similar shades by the time I run out of these ones, I would definitely pick them up. And my favorite highlighter to come out this year, well, I don't know, is this another item that like came out this year or didn't? But it's the Nomad and Sydney Blathers Balmoral Beach highlight. I did get this from a friend not too long ago. This is like a very new addition to my highlighter collection, but it's been my absolute favorite. I've reached for this every time I've done my makeup, whether it be on camera, off camera, since I've gotten it. And it's so similar to the other, because I like a pink highlight. I really do. I will use it on its own. I will use it under a blush or with a blush, you know, as like a cheek topper. But this one has been really wonderful, and I'm so happy to have it. This might be one of those highlighters that I actually reach pan on because I've been using it so often. It's super good. I don't know. I hope this isn't like limited edition and it's going to be long gone, because this is really awesome. Okay, and then I have a few items for eyebrows. So the first one I want to talk about is the ABH Brow Freeze. And I've had this since it's come out, and like, I don't know if you guys can tell, but like all I have left of the product now is like around the edges. Like this is completely empty. And this was one of those items where like when I got it, I was like, did I just waste my money on this? Did I fall into the hype? Like I don't understand. I don't get it. Like this doesn't really do anything. You have to water activate it. And I don't know, like it doesn't tell you to ever do that. I read it in somewhere in like a comment, whether it be on my video or somebody else's video, someone had told me spray it with water and then apply it and then see what happens. And this has held my brows into place. Sure, it is a bit like, it's not my absolute favorite because I do have to take something like a brush, you know, and like scoop out the product and brush it in, and then it is a longer process. But I mean, when I'm doing like cosplays, this is definitely an item that like I would reach for a lot, just to hold my brows into place and to get them into shape. I don't know, I really enjoy this as far as like on camera, off camera, for cosplay, that kind of thing. I really enjoy this. I think the only downside is that like gelling my brows kind of takes a while to like do. I would kind of wish that there was like a gel I'm sure I could probably just use the Got To Be gel that I use to like gel down my baby hairs. This is one of those items where like I'm shocked that I've hit pan and that it's almost gone, and that I'm getting to a point where I probably have to start considering repurchasing this. And again, it's another ABH item. There was a lot of hype behind this, and like I said, when I first got it, I wasn't really sure if I was gonna enjoy it because I wasn't really seeing results, but it's one of my favorite brow products. And another brow product that I got that I don't see too many other people really talking about, but it's the Rare Beauty Brow Shape and Fill Duo. I have mine in brown, I think, but it's this one that comes with like the 2 different shades. This has been my favorite brow powder to use. It does say that like, I don't think it really holds your brows into place, but this and this paired together I think are so nice. Especially for like, if you're like me where you kind of already have like, I wouldn't say I have thick brows, but I definitely don't groom my brows, and I don't have very thin brows, and I have like hair kind of everywhere. You can kind of clean up and tidy up your brow with this product. And I do like that it comes with the 2 shades, so you can kind of mix and blend to exactly what you need for your hair type. This is really good. I used to use the old like NYX brow gel where it was like the 2 shades and it came with like the little brow gel like at the end. This is like a 2013, 2014 product. Like, it's so old, I don't even think it exists anymore. And I really love that powder. This lasts me all day. Like, it'll last me, I'll put it on for work, and then I'll come home after my 8-hour shift, do something, and then like come to film and sit down and do some filming. And I'll film, like, I try to film more than 1 video in a day, and my brows still look as I did when I did it in the morning. So maybe you don't like how my brows look, but I think they look really good. It doesn't look like super filled in. It just kind of gives me more of like a natural brow, if you will. So I don't know. I think this was really good. If you had your eyes on it, I would say take a chance. I went with brown because I thought dark brown would be too dark for me, and I'm glad that I kind of went a shade lower because it does come with like a darker shade and a lighter shade, and like I said, you can blend it and mix it to the shade that you want. So I would go the shade lighter than what you were expecting and kind of mix up from there. Okay, let's talk about, okay, I feel like I'm talking very fast. The next set of items are my lip items, and I have a few different ones here. You'll see in my video tomorrow my lip collection and how I have a problem with lip items. So the first item I want to talk about are the Nabla close-up lip liners. These are my favorite lip liners of all time. Like, I've loved the Colourpop ones and the NYX ones because, I don't know, for a lip liner, I don't want to spend high-end prices on it. Like, I think that's kind of ridiculous, especially because I eat and I talk and I will drink coffee. You know, like, product from your lip is going to be moving around and you do have to reapply. So these are the items that I kind of go through the most. So why would I spend $20 on a lip liner? Doesn't really make sense to me. These are about $11. You can get them on Beauty Bay. You can get them off the Nabla site. Can you get these at Ulta yet? I don't know. I don't know why these aren't at Ulta. There's only like the 5 shades, I think. I have 4 of them. I think the 5th one is just like a bit too dark for me. But I really love these. These have been really amazing to my collection. They last all day. They kind of outlast a lot of my lip products, which I'm really excited for. And I think the colors are very flattering. So I hope Nabla releases more shades in 2022, but this has been my favorite. And I also don't think these came out this year. I don't think so. Did they come out last year? I can't remember. I don't think these came out in 2021. I don't think. Let's talk about, okay, so I've tried a few different things from Uoma Beauty, and my favorite item that has come out that I think everybody should get their hands on is the lip tint, the lip oil. So you can use this on your lips, you can use it on your face. this has kind of been my go-to product, especially in the summertime. This is very, very nice on the lips. It's very conditioning. It doesn't dry out your lips. Reapplying, you know, doesn't leave a weird film on your lips. It does leave a little bit of a lip tint. I have mine in the shade Softy, which is kind of like a more browny kind of nude tone, but it's not super brown. I don't know, it complements my skin. It complements the kind of makeup looks that I'm going for. I've liked it as a blush. I've liked it as a lip tint. This is the item to pick up from that collection. I don't know if they're gonna release more shades. I kind of hope that they do, but I mean, like, the Softy shade would be the one that I would repurchase again. And then to keep with glosses, I'm gonna hold up the shade Hot Cherry. I don't know why I always want to call this one Chili, but it's not. It's Hot Cherry. But the Fenty Heat glosses are my favorite, like, plumping lip gloss formula of all time. They feel really nice on your lips. It's like I don't want to say it's like a luxury feeling, but like it definitely feels very nice on the lips, and this is such a nice product to pull out, and the application is really nice. I do have this one and the shade Fenty Glow. I will pick up other shades for sure. I know that they just teased this like lemon kind of like yellow shade, and I'm kind of interested to see what that would look like. But the finish of this gloss is really nice, and I'm not someone to really wear a red lip, so like this kind of red gloss really scares me. But even this like Hot Cherry shade is so super flattering. I really, really do love this and enjoy this. And then I have two lipsticks for you today. I'm actually wearing this one, and it is the Colourpop Luxe Blur lipstick in Band Tea, and I have the Charlotte Tilbury Supermodel lipstick. I think these are two very similar shades. Well, I mean, sort of. Like, you can kind of tell they're kind of like that same kind of brownie kind of tone. I think the Charlotte Tilbury one is a bit more pink leaning. And it does show on the lips. Like, this one definitely is a bit more brown leaning on the lips. But let's talk about the formula for the Colourpop one. This one is very smooth. I say that it feels very similar to this. I think these two are the closest in shade. Where this one feels like a gel on your lips, and it's very slippy. This feels like a gel on your lips, but it doesn't have like that shine, kind of like liquidy kind of texture. It's just very smooth, and it feels very nice. And even throughout the day, even though it is a matte kind of finish, it leaves more of like a satin finish because it never like really dries your lips out. Reapplication is fairly easy. It doesn't leave any weird like layers on my lip or makes my lips feel dried out or like any buildup or anything. Like it's really nice. So this one is definitely one that I'll throw in my purse or leave in my pocket if I'm going out. This one is really, really good. As far as like my favorite nude lipstick and like what I like to kind of use for on camera, off camera, cosplay kind of things, this has been my go-to nude lipstick. Again, this is in the shade Supermodel. I really like the Charlotte Tilbury formula. I plan on maybe picking up other shades in the future. I'll probably end up having to do a lip declutter just because I have too many items. You'll see that video tomorrow, but I'm gonna keep an eye out for her next drops. If I could afford it, I would have bought everything that came out in this particular drop because I do love the super like 90s supermodel kind of look, kind of aesthetic. But this one, I'm glad that I picked up this one over the other ones because this is a very complimentary nude. But depending on the lip liner I use, I can really like change how it looks. Like if I use a darker liner, I can make it look darker. If I use a little bit of a lighter color, I can kind of give it more of like a blotted look kind of effect. So I think it's worth the money. Yes, these are very expensive, but I'm happy to use them. Okay, so the last parts are my eyeshadow palettes that I've purchased this year. I'm not going to go in any particular order. I'm just going to, because I have them stacked by size. So I'm going to start with this one by Clatos, and it is their Flower Punk palette. I've used this one so many times since I've purchased it. I think I've only really kind of tucked it away recently because I've gotten other palettes. I did have a whole month of like first impression videos, so I just had a month where I was only really wearing new makeup. but I really do enjoy this palette. Like this color story is so unique and different, and these like grungy kind of yellows and greens are kind of what I go to a lot. Even these like pink tones, like these two kind of shade families right here, you'll see when I do my eyeshadow collection or eyeshadow inventory video. I have a lot of palettes of these kind of shades. I don't have too many with blues, and I like this bright blue in here. I love this in the summertime. It was one of my absolute favorite palettes, so when spring comes back around again, I'm definitely pulling this one out. Also, this came out in October, so this is fairly new to my collection, but it is the BH Opal palette. And it is one of my favorite, like it is a pastel palette, but it is one of my favorite little complementary palettes because I will just go in and reach for this pink or this orange. I really enjoyed having this blue. Even this kind of like opal shade here is kind of more like a duochrome kind of shade. This pressed glitter, I don't really use too much. Like I'm not really a huge fan of pressed glitters, but I mean like it's not bad. It's just a white glitter. So I'm sure if I ever tried to do some kind of like special effects, kind of like, you know, like cosplay just for photos, not so much for in person, like I would probably reach for something like this. But the glitter itself has all, like it has like the same kind, I don't know if you can really see it, but it has the same kind of like greens and oranges in there. So I think at least that looks very nice. Now I just have glitter everywhere. But out of the whole BH gemstone collection, they released one every month for like the birthstone palettes, obviously for every birthday that you could have in the year. Why am I saying that so funny? Anyway, so they released 12. This was the only one that I picked up. This was the only one that I was really interested in. But if you were looking for something similar, or excuse me, they have different color stories in there, and I think the formulas are really, really nice. I know Angie has done videos on this, and so has Heather Austin, and they've ranked all of their favorites, so I would watch those videos just to see what that color story looks like, but I can tell you I really enjoyed the Opal one. Next I have two Colourpop palettes. These were my palettes that I reached for the most this year, just in terms of like what I'm using on camera and off camera, and the things that I was the most excited for. Like I've talked about these palettes a number of times, either on camera with friends, and just like what kind of like, I don't know, I feel like I was in a lot of comment threads, whether it be on YouTube, Reddit, Instagram, whatever, talking about these palettes because I thought that they were really, really good. And the first one is the Lizzie Mcguire What Dreams Are Made Of palette. This came out, I think, in the spring of 2021. And again, it's the green, the pinks, and the purples. When you see my eyeshadow inventory video, this is like the color story that I kind of reach for a lot. Do I think this is like the best palette ever? No, not really. But as far as like these bright kind of colors go, and then these, what do they have in here? They're like those mattes with like the shimmer in them kind of, you know, tones. I think as far as that formula goes, these were the better ones of that formula. I really love this palette. I think it's really, really nice. I probably have to pair it with a better eyeshadow base because it would kind of fade on me throughout the day, but I think that's just because the Clatos eye primer, it's not my favorite eye primer, but when I've seen people use it with like the Sigma eye primer, the looks look really, really awesome. And I have other girlfriends who kind of suggested the same thing because they also have this palette and their looks looked really, really awesome. As far as collaborations go, this one was my favorite. I wasn't really expecting it. I think Lizzie Mcguire was supposed to have some kind of like return to TV, and then they canceled the project altogether. So I think it was just sad that I think they were anticipating to have this product come out with the release of the new series. And I don't think anybody ever talked about it when talking about this release. We were all just kind of excited. Oh, Lizzie Mcguire. And we, you know, nostalgia is a big thing. We have so many different brands doing so many different collabs because of nostalgic little properties. But this was tied to a release of the series that did get canceled. So I don't know, for that too, it's kind of like not lost media, but I kind of like that this I don't know, I feel like this is just a part of like Lizzie Mcguire history. I think this is a really cute palette. Colourpop is always having sales. This is always in stock. This one and the lip glosses I think are really, really good. So if you can still get that bundle, I would try to. I think it's really awesome. The other palette that I really loved this year was the Plush Like Me collection. And this one came out September, October, September, August. Earlier this year, but it's just like a nudes palette, but it's more of like these kind of like grungier tones. This shade TLC, it looks kind of like brown here, but I swear it has like a green, like kind of copper payoff. I don't know if it's like a duo, I wouldn't say it's a duochrome at all, but it does have like a shift in it, and when you spray it on your brush you can definitely see the like bronze and green in there. The shade Velvet One and Dep are my absolute favorite. Runaway has been my favorite like inner corner like highlight shade. This is just a really nice palette, and as far as like a nudes palette, this is perfect for me. This is the kind of tones I like to go for. I've paired this with other kind of palettes that had like duochromes or something kind of special. This one with the Tammy Tenuka Toad Chestnut palette I think are a match made in heaven. It's so, so pretty, where you can get the lighter shades that palette doesn't quite offer, but the kind of darker and the like metallic shades in that palette are just so beautiful paired with this, and I think this is a really good formula. I didn't really see too many other people talking about this collection, but I think this is one of the best Colourpop collections to come out this year. This was really, really good. I really, really enjoyed it. Okay, so we're down to my final two, and I do want to mention this Natasha Denona Retro palette. Again, this one is also something that's new to my collection. This palette came out, I think, for their holiday. This was not my first Natasha Denona palette, but it came to me so close after I bought the Love collection, like a week later, that it feels like it's my first palette. I've definitely reached for this one a lot more than my Love palette. The shades in here are absolutely beautiful. I play with this on camera, off camera. I've already kind of thought of like what different kind of cosplays I can do. I just think the shadows in here are just so beautiful and so lovely. I love berry tones. I love pink tones. I love a deep kind of like chocolatey kind of brown, and it has all of that in here. The shade Maud is also another shade that I love as like an inner corner highlight. I don't know, it's just absolutely wonderful and beautiful, and I think if you were to pick up any Natasha Denona palette, I would go for this one. The new, like, I think it's called the Biddy Mini is coming out soon, and that I'm gonna pick that one up because I think that's the perfect mini to kind of pair with this larger one. I think they complement each other. Very, very awesome palettes. Again, I know that Natasha Denona is a bit more pricey, but if you had your eye on it, I think it's worth it if it's within your budget. Otherwise, there's definitely like those quads from Colourpop have like a similar kind of like color story. I think the Scorpio, Season of the Scorpio, that little quad has like similar kind of plummier tones like this one. I wouldn't compare the formulas, but I know that Scorpio quad everybody seems to really love and can really hype or can kind of vouch that formula is really, really good. So if that's more in your budget, I would say reach for that one because I think the shades are similar. Obviously this is more than 4 shades, but I think looking at it you can kind of tell there's like some berry tones, some lighter tones, and like a transition shade, and I mean you're kind of getting all of that in that Scorpio palette. And then the last palette and the last item I want to talk about in this video is the Clatos Club Nebula palette. This, I think I've talked about this a number of times before. This is such a nice palette. I don't know, it's very, I think I've said everything that I needed to say about this palette in previous videos, but the tones in here are so nice. Like, these deeper tones here, I don't have in any other palette, and these are really, really pretty. If I wanted to do like a super intense pastel blue eye look, I will use the blue from the Opal palette and then put this on top and then stack that blue on top again from the Opal palette, and it gives me a very intense pastel blue. These shades just blend together so nicely, and like, I don't know, this like Celestial and You're My Only Hope and this Nebula shade are just so pretty as far as like kind of metallic duochrome kind of tones go. This Salmon shade is one of my favorite. I really love this orange tone. I just think this is an awesome palette. This Gravity, like kind of pukey green down here is just one of my favorite greens of all time. And I don't know, I think Nebula, or excuse me, not Nebula, Clatos had a really big hit on their hands. Angie made a really awesome palette. I don't know if they're going to do a part 2. Like I said in a previous video, she kind of hinted that, like, I don't know if she was saying she knew what projects her friends were working on or what projects she was personally working on, but if they come out with another Nebula palette, I would be super excited. Definitely going to pre-order, definitely going to get my hands on it. And I don't know, this was like my first like kind of bright, kind of colored, not very neutral leaning palettes. And this was really, really fun to use. I've planned, like I did a Bucciarati cosplay and I used the Naru and the You're My Only Hope and this Rock Copper shade together, kind of blended them in and kind of gave myself a very dramatic Bucciarati eye look. That was really fun. Again, just super, super love this palette. It is discontinued. I don't think, I mean, you would have to buy it from a reseller, and I don't know, I don't think any makeup item is worth a like $100 plus item that like they would be selling them at from these resellers. But I don't know, maybe you can kind of talk to them and haggle your way to get it what it's worth. But I don't know, these were the items that I loved this year. I'm kind of excited to see what happens next year and what new things I have that I add to my collection, if I find any similar trends or if some items stay my favorite into the following year. I don't know, it's been very interesting kind of documenting my makeup consumption online for a year. I've definitely seen some like trends and some things within myself that I've kind of fallen into and kind of learned about myself. So very, very fun. But let me know in the comments down below, are any of these your favorite items? Have you tried any of these items, or have you tried them and you don't like them? I would love to hear from you guys. You guys always are very fun in the comments down below, and I will see you for tomorrow's video. Bye.